What is going on? We're here for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Join with us as a guest, Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. I am Jesse Carter. He's James Spinard Jr. You already know the deal. We're here to talk about All In, CM Punk meltdowns, and Triple H being kicked off the board today.
Bro, what up? How are things?
It's hot. It's hot where I'm at. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but we're in a heat wave right now, and it's like
Bro, I am
109.
baking. I left the gym and then I ate dinner and then you sent me the link and everything and I was like boom, 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 boom. So I'm starting to feel the sweat residuals coming back again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How hot is it where
You're
you're
welcome.
at, James?
You're welcome. We sent the heat wave over to you. Let me see. It is, I think it's in the 90s. Let me see.
I'm telling you, man, the heat today is just murder.
85.
Man.
Yeah, it's 85. We got rain coming up.
Oh,
I don't know how that's coming up, but
yeah, we're gonna be backing down in the 80s next week, but all this week, man, 108 sucks. Really, really sucks.
Yeah, you guys keep it over there.
No, it's going away. Trust me. Isaiah Hill, okay, no prob. First one here for the stream. What's going on, Isaiah? Appreciate it. Hey, and I appreciate you putting all them comments on all of our short content as well, man. You're really killing it for the 2K franchise.
We see you.
Yeah, Dangerously E. What is that? Positively E. What's going on? He's got the Punk X's. Says yo. Lagoat. Ayo. What's going on, guys? Yeah, man. So I guess we can just dive into the whole Punk thing first before we dive into All In, because what I just want to talk about All In and how this card could have been booked better or what we could have done differently. And I guess there's no better way to start that discussion than by talking about what's going on with CM Punk. Conrad, you're like one of the biggest advocates for CM Punk over on your channel, Everything Pro Wrestling. How's it going for you, man? Are you losing your mind? Are you trying to stay off the internet? What's going on?
I have never, ever been a biased CM Punk fan, ever. AEW is one of those places to where you can go and enjoy pro wrestling. It was fun at one point in time, right? Like I felt like I enjoyed it. It was good. And then all this stuff just...
let me correct you too, man. It still is fun until you get on Twitter.
The Holy Grail.
Just Twitter. It's more than just Twitter, bro. It's Facebook. It's everything.
Okay, social media. But we'll just throw social media out there. By the way, everybody follow us at the Pro Wrestling Shoot everywhere. Go ahead.
Darn right.
Plug.
And yeah, I don't know. The whole CM Punk thing. I think Punk should have not said what he said in North Carolina. I have issues with a lot of things. I question the fan sign. Why would you bring a sign like that to that show? When has Hangman ever appeared on Collision?
Clarify the sign though. What did the sign say?
There was two signs.
Hangman Country, and what was the other one, James?
Hangman was right all along, or somewhere.
Oh yeah, Hangman was right. you know they're needling the dude, like they're poking him. Yeah. That's exactly what they did, and it's like, oh, he shouldn't respond, bro. If you keep doing that to me, I'm going to say something. And I'll wait until you get into the other stuff. I'll save my opinion, but I think CM Punk in this situation shouldn't have said what he said. And I know everyone's always expecting like, oh, he's going to stick up for Punk. Not in this situation. I don't think Punk should have said it. It came out wrong. It didn't sound good. And it was just like, you could have ignored that sign. I just thought he should have ignored it.
Well, one of the things that I was talking about earlier when we were talking in the group chat too was when you buy a ticket to Collision, you know that is CM Punk territory. Like, so you're obviously doing this to get the reaction from CM Punk. Should Punk have responded? I don't know, probably not. But at this point, how long can the dude keep his mouth shut, right? Like he doesn't have, to our knowledge, any restrictions about talking about Hangman. It's only about the Elite, and we don't even know if that's facts, right? Like we don't know that this is just being reported in the dirt sheets or whatever the case is. But it's just crazy, dude. Like I don't really have a problem with Punk saying what he said. And by the way, we got a short of that too on our channel. So if you guys want to go into our shorts, go check it out. You can see the whole shoot segment.
1K, baby.
Yeah, that one went up. That one went up kind of slow. We've had some other ones, man, that are blowing up. Shout out to all the new subscribers on the channel too. Hopefully, some pop in here while we're doing this live stream.
We're gonna have our own media scrum and just go off.
Yeah, dude. So that's another thing too. Is Punk wasn't involved in the media scrum, obviously, at the last pay-per-view, which was Forbidden Door.
Good show.
I guess.
Good show.
Yeah, you attended that live. I didn't expect him to be a part of that one, but I think I do expect him to be a part of the All Out one. What do you think?
What do you do? And I work with children.
What do you do though? Like, listen, this was the same building, same place that he did the
1 year anniversary.
Yeah, it's the 1 year anniversary of
different building, isn't it?
It's the bigger
United Center.
It's the bigger building, yes, but
okay.
Still
same area,
same city, same city. 1 year later, same pay-per-view. I feel like you got to have him go out there.
I think you're risking it having them in the same place on the 23rd before All In. What's he gonna fire me if I start fighting these guys again?
I know, in Georgia
before your biggest show. Yeah, go ahead, let the UK fans down. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I have issues with a lot of this. Like I said, I'll bring it up once you get into your points for all of it.
So we're getting close, as you said, to All In. All In is supposedly their biggest show, and they're actually promoting this as the greatest wrestling show, the biggest wrestling show of all time. I'm gonna go ahead and put a cap on that, but the attendance is great. They're doing great. It's a great accomplishment. I'm really happy for AEW when it comes down to this. As far as the card, we're gonna get into that later, but we're heading to what they're calling the biggest event ever, not just in AEW history, but in wrestling history. CM Punk is on the verge of doing what we think is going to be a match with Samoa Joe, correct?
Yes.
Is that what we're building for? Samoa Joe, CM Punk Part 3. Is it 3? It is.
No, this is like
it's 5. 5.
Probably for the title. I don't know if that's going to be in context.
That would be interesting, but it just doesn't make sense going in and we're this close, and now all of a sudden we have all these stories coming out, right? We had CM Punk do that shoot segment after Collision went off the air about Adam Hangman Page being a peg warmer, which, dude, I mean, look, tell me when I'm telling lies, right? Like, I've been to local Walmart. You've been to local Walmart. We've seen the toys. The only ones I ever see is that Hangman Adam Page action figure. So it's just, I don't know. It's wild. So I don't think that he's lying there. What's funny is that he did send Hangman Adam Page a text, is what's being reported. Once again, this is all alleged. I really just take whatever's being reported with a grain of salt anyway. But we've had about, 10 stories come out, Conrad, James?
It feels like 10.
Yeah, there's always he fought this person. Oh, but it was like dated from like the start of Collision at the beginning. Oh, hey, this person got sent him because they didn't say hi to him.
First of all, look, we dropped the bag for Colt Cabana before. I'm going to go on and say it. Not a fan. We dropped the bag for Colt Cabana. All this was started over him because people couldn't keep their mouth shut and spreading rumors to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, people who are not friends with Punk and who do not like Punk. Go ahead.
And nobody has stood up and said it was me who said it.
Yeah.
They're not cowards. Punk's the coward. Get out of here.
It's ridiculous. So somebody is feeding information to Dave Meltzer, but like you said, nobody's taking ownership of that. So,
and they probably won't.
No, they're not going to, because Dave's not going to out his source, and once his source is outed, you already know Tony Khan's going to be putting the thumb down. Well,
yeah. Who's the source who told Tony was running around like, "Yay, CM Punk"? See, who said that? Who told Dave that? I would love to know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. So there's a lot of so Fightful has released some stuff. Dave Meltzer has said a whole bunch of stuff. They're coming out. Originally, when this happened, we were all like, "All right, it's a work." Right? Immediately, a lot of people thought this was a work immediately as soon as you seen it. All right, cool. We're probably going to start working together again because we've already been past this, right? Like, Punk came back when he did his return. He said what he had to say about the counterfeit Bucks line and everything else. We got it all out there. We all knew something was going to be said. It got said. And then after that, we just kind of scrapped it. And CM Punk has just kind of brought back the world title, his world title, I might add, one he never lost, twice, actually. So we're going on to All In, and now all of a sudden, all these sources are dropping bombs on CM Punk. Jungle Boy's in the mix. What is it? Ryan Nemeth? Is it Ryan? Yeah, Ryan Nemeth.
It's August, okay? Mm-hmm. And we're getting news of him and Jack Perry go at it from the beginning. Like, why are we just doing?
So when was this supposed to happen? The whole
Jack Perry. It was at the debut of Collision, and Jack Perry was supposed to be originally on Collision, and he wanted to do some segment of glass being thrown in. Punk threw it in there saying, "Yeah, I don't recommend it. If you don't like the ideas, go back to Dynamite." And that's where he's been. And yet this is coming out about almost 2 months later. It's August 15th. Mm-hmm. Debut was Collision of June 17th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's very particular odd doing this the week before.
Yes, so they're saving stories to drop when all the CM Punk news is dropping, right? Like we're either saving this just to kind of get something stirred up before the biggest wrestling show that they've ever had, or we're just continuing to try to get CM Punk fired. Because when CM Punk came back, if you hadn't noticed, Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer went silent. They went rogue. They didn't say anything about CM Punk after he had come back. Now all of a sudden they're throwing in the mix because CM Punk came out there and blasted Hangman about his toys not selling. So it's
worst thing that came from Alvarez was him trying to say that the FTR should have lost the tag titles to MJF and Adam Cole. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I don't know. I didn't think that was wise. Like, that's like such a don't get me started. That was such another company thing to do, to have two main event guys beat your tag team. Why would you beat your tag team?
Well, you know why he said that, right?
Better. Of course, he hates them.
Yeah, he hates them because, once again, Dax called out Brian Alvarez on his podcast, and they were going back and forth. Another reason why Dax's podcast got removed, I kind of wish it wasn't, because it was one of my favorite podcasts to listen to when it came to the bigger time podcasts, I guess you would put it, as the wrestlers doing podcasts.
Working shout fans, out to Matt Coon.
Yeah, Matt Coon was good, man. Like, I enjoyed that duo. I thought the podcast was cool. I liked the tequila of the week or whatever that they did. It was just cool listening to their show and all the, I don't know, good wrestling insight, I guess, is what I would say when it came to WWE and AEW. But we can't talk about AEW unless you're one of the guys stooging shit off to Dave Meltzer. Then we could talk about AEW all we want, right? So, a lot of crazy stuff came out today from, I think Fightful was dropping most of the news, right?
Jack Perry, then Ryan Nemeth, and it's all at the beginning. Like, Punk just returned, and he's over there throwing the little shade comments out of there, which I don't know why you're talking. You've been on television, once in the last, 8 shows, and you're doing comedy with your brother?
He's the most skippable segment in BTE. I'm just going to go on and say it. He's the reason why I don't watch BTE anymore. I'll put BTE on and I see Ryan Nemeth and Cole Cabana. I'm out. I'm done. I don't want either of those guys on even my phone screen, let alone TV. It's just kind of funny. Like, for one, what would Ryan Nemeth be coming there to do backstage segments for anyway on Collision? When have we ever seen him on TV besides Dark? It's pretty rare.
Rampage, occasion. Probably just doing the job. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I heard he hasn't been around since May, since they ended Dark.
Yeah, I seen him wrestle on Dark when they came here back in January.
Yeah, I think he's in.
Yeah, and I think they said maybe he did one ROH show, maybe one.
And comedy specials.
So the point of all this, man, like, should CM Punk keep his mouth shut? Like, probably at this point, but I mean, like you said, Conrad, I mean, what are you going to do, man? Just keep taking it and not defending yourself? We're just going to, I mean, his name's already slandered out there. Fans are against each other because if you're a CM Punk fan, then you hate the Elite all of a sudden, which is not the case. Like, I don't hate the Elite. This whole situation is kind of making me start hating the Elite because it's ridiculous. And They're acting like a bunch of children when they should be acting like EVPs, but apparently they can't manage a fucking target.
I guess with Ryan Nemeth, the best thing I can say to him is bench players talking like starters is crazy to me.
Yep.
You don't mention other people.
Fantastic
You don't
comment.
do that type of stuff. Like, bro, no, you just don't do that.
Do we
And then
recall? Do we recall what Brandon Cutler said? I mean, I don't know why you don't.
He's
learn from
another
that
one who I
context.
said that exact. I think did I come on this show for that one too with Cutler? That might have been the last time I was on here.
I think
That's
so,
the same
yeah.
comment I said.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said bench players talking like starters. I hate it. Like, dude, sit down and stop acting like your friends didn't get you a job. You talk about CM Punk getting people jobs and pushes and things like that. Bro, you guys are the Brutus the Barber beefcakes of the elite. Like, please stop. Nobody ever. Well, let me stop. Let me not say anything mean. Nobody is here for that act. I'm sorry.
Say it, man. It's
all right. Nobody bought a
facts.
ticket. Nobody bought a ticket to see you. Nobody bought a ticket to see you. Not now, not then, forever, more than likely. I'm just being honest. If he was coming into Collision, I'm sure he was there to face Miro or something, and I'll let you guess what that means. Like,
He's
come
doing
on,
the
dude.
job.
Yeah, like, come on, dude. I don't know what these people want out of this. All right. You're not Dolph. You can't talk like you're Dolph. So sit down. He shouldn't have said that. Jungle Boy, this is the same dude who disrespected Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn said, stop doing them damn destroyers. Oh, he always gets all angry about stuff. Har, 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 har. Jungle Boy, your music, not it, Chief. I don't know what it's going to take to tell someone that.
Promos not it either.
Like I said, and you know what? I think there's potential there. I'm not going to lie to you and act like, oh, he's terrible. No. Jungle Boy, there's potential. But Jungle Boy also needs to listen. I don't get it. I don't get this mentality of I'm not going to listen to CM Punk. I'm not going to listen to. And you don't think CM Punk saw like the like tweets and all that stuff that was going on? People send them that stuff. Wrestling fans tag you in that stuff. Like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Just cut it out. Like I said, the petty stuff, don't think it's not going to come back to haunt you. I was going to say an old phrase. You can't say that stuff anymore. But you talk that mess, and when it comes to you, it's going to come. Someone's going to come right up to your face and ask you, did you say that? Did you do that? You're bullying. You're bullying.
He also did get asked. I think you mentioned it, Conrad. I think it was at the can't remember what conference they were at, and he got asked, will you wrestle CM Punk? And I forgot what his answer was. I think if I'm allowed to wrestle him, sure. I forgot where
wasn't
it was.
He eating too and making fun of him? He went up there with like pancakes or something.
Yeah,
or a
pancakes. Yeah, he was eating. Yeah,
he was eating something.
It's okay to be funny now.
When he was gone.
Yeah, now that he's back, I want to do this with glass. Yeah, I bet. You're stupid. You're like, come on. If he said that, trust me.
He said, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, like, come on, dude. I'm over all of these cats doing this. Like I said, know your level, know where you are before you start talking crazy like that to CM Punk. He's proven it right. When Tony Khan went on that crazy rant, he wasn't lying about he's done the biggest gates, he's done this, he's done that. And I feel like ever since that day, people have hated him. And Tony's the one who said it. Like it was figures that he had. He was mad that Eric Bischoff was claiming stupid lines. The same Eric Bischoff who I love Punk's return promo. Like what, bro? Stop it. At this point, have Punk come out with his belt. Have Tony Khan in the leather jacket doing the same thing. Like I don't know what people want at this point. You're gonna hate this dude no matter what he does. Like I don't get it.
You got Dave Meltzer over here comparing CM Punk and Hulk Hogan, dude.
like, dude, I'll let you guys get it on this. But like, was there any like retractions issue today about the whole like CM Punk apologized to Hangman Page? Did anyone say sorry for printing that report yesterday? Did anybody say like, oh, maybe we jumped the gun on printing that? Like you said, Jesse, you guys had all these reports since June. It's August. You didn't release them. What were you waiting for?
Well, what was my first comment in the chat, too, when James started dropping all these news drops about CM Punk? My first comment was, well, looks like the dirt sheets haven't had very many clicks lately. So they had to
subscribers.
They had to pile up some CM Punk news to drop all at once. But the fact that you're dropping it before the biggest pay-per-view of AEW's history says a lot. It says that you're trying to damage him even further than you've already damaged his name. And even though they've damaged his name, he still continues to be the top merch seller. He still continues to be the buzz on the internet. Nobody is talking about any wrestler more than what they're talking about CM Punk. We talked about this situation for a year while he was hurt, sitting at home and not saying a word. So that shows you how popular CM Punk was. And then when he came back, the fans acted shocked that he was actually here. And now we had to divide the roster and the fan base by making Collision and keeping certain wrestlers on Collision. And that's the thing, is people think this is all CM Punk. It's not all a CM Punk thing. Andrade's over there. You got FTR over there. What do you think's going to happen at All In when we get FTR versus the Bucks? I don't think FTR is winning. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm still shocked that match is even happening. Like,
I'm not.
They're friends.
I'm not. And there was a little clip on BTE this last week too, where Matt Jackson said they won't even let us do the Hung Buck stuff anymore because we're going back to the tag division. So what does that tell you? You know what I mean? They're not gonna.
It's just a little subliminal.
We can't do the Hung Bucks anymore because we're gonna be in the tag division. Well, why are you gonna be in the tag division long term? Because they're gonna be the champions. Unless we're stretching this storyline out until about full gear or something like that. Listen, a part of me still feels that a lot of this is a work. Like I said, all these reports being reported doesn't necessarily mean that they're fact. I wouldn't treat them as gospel. They are just being fed by people who are bitter in the locker room, right? My problem is there's a lot going on with that locker room in this past year. There's too much happening over there that's causing too much tension, too much newsworthy headlines.
Clicks.
I mean, clicks. Yeah.
I mean, this all started from the Lufisto interview that went about, and then all this.
It started with Britt Baker and
well, yeah,
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, that was like the tip of the iceberg at the start, and then just little by little, it was months. It was just months and months and months of rebuilding up and up, and you have people left and right saying, "Oh no, everything's fine backstage." I mean, JR just said it like, "Oh yeah, it's more calm here at Collision," and then he's here throwing the little comments. "Oh, there's been a black cloud since Punk's return."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get a couple comments in here, man. We got some people talking. Legoat said, "F the elite," and then he said, "Just kidding." Nice cover. Ed Fries, I think that is one of your boys over there from Everything Pro Wrestling. He says, "Just popping in to say hi to you guys, especially Conrad." Welcome, Ed Fries. Thank you for popping in. The Goat says, "No lie." Steve Kelly, "Hey guys, how are you all doing?" We're doing just good, man, other than all this crap online. Hope you're doing well, Steven. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're back home. Hopefully I'll get to see you at WWE next month, buddy. Says, "Can't they all just be friends?" Why can't we be friends? We should all just sing that and snap our fingers. Send it to Tony Khan.
I'm sure he wants the same thing because he's tired of looking like a fool.
100%. 100%. Isaiah Hill says, "Hey guys, what's going on, bud?" Positively E says, "Did you did like a year of BTE on cream or milk or something?" Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's ridiculous, and now all you see on BTE is Cole Cabana, and I'm pretty sure they're doing that for a reason, because you're not going to see Cole Cabana on AEW television. Tokyo Domena says, "I go to sleep when I see Brandon Cutler." Wow. I don't go to sleep. I think I just get irritated because there's I don't know. It's just one of those things. The thing that sucks about Brandon Cutler is I remember the BTE skit that they did a while ago. Right before AEW started, and he got that contract after he'd been rolling around with these guys in wrestling for years on the independents. Never thought he was good ever, and never thought he could draw a dime, obviously, but I was happy for him, man. I was happy for a lot of these guys that they had a place to go for the mainstream to make some real money without being a part of the WWE system, because we know a lot of these guys would never have a future in WWE because of how they run that system. So I don't know, man. I was happy for Brandon Cutler, but now, after he said the whole what was the comment that he gave CM Punk when he retweeted it and took
it was the gaslighting thing.
Gaslighting,
like sounds about right or whatever.
Yeah. Like, this dude is gaslighting AEW, and
here's I want people who listen to this podcast to be smart for a second. I want everyone to think, who hired all of these people? Just think for a second. Kip Sabian, all these people who stuck around. The elite. There is some type of loyalty to the elite, but there are a bunch of people who didn't get time. You go tell Andrade why he's not getting time. He probably thinks it's ridiculous. Roosh, people who are on Collision, Miro. Why can't I get the bigger storyline? Why can't I get the time? That's why we're in the situation we're in. They have too many friends and they're protecting certain people. If Cole Cabana was going to get released, that's Tony's decision, not yours. You can go in there and make a plea for your friend behind the scenes, but you don't. I don't know. It just didn't. I didn't like the way all that went down. It just feels very weird. And lately, we've been seeing Tony kind of getting rid of some people too.
Slowly.
Like Fuego. I love Fuego del Sol, but he knew, and Fuego's out there like, yeah, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get back at it. Like that's good for Fuego. I hope he does.
But that's here's the thing though. Fuego del Sol, when he got signed and he did that whole thing, he was over with the crowd. We just signed Kip Sabian to a long-term deal. What have we done with Kip Sabian since he's been in AEW besides put a bag on his head?
Yeah, that's all he was doing for what, years, and probably almost a good 5-6 months, and then had a match, and that's it.
And then we thought he was going to pop off there for a little while when he had that one feud. He had the feud, and we haven't seen him.
He was.
Why
on
are we
BTA
signing this
too?
What?
He was on the BT. He was the BTA champion until everything brawl out happened, and then he hasn't really been in future.
Why is Tony wasting money on people like this? Is my question. You let go of Brian Pillman Jr., who's now, it's being reported that he's training over there in the Performance Center, which is good for him because I think that he could really make that system work for him. But I feel like they let go of somebody that had a lot of potential. He had a lot of steam coming off of that Dark Side of the Ring a while back. You know what I mean? We were doing a couple stories with him. He had that old school look and feel just like FTR does. I feel like if he would have gotten coached by people like FTR, Arn Anderson, and so forth, he could have been something special, man. But we let him go and keep the likes of Brandon Cutler, Kip Sabian. You know what I mean? And Ryan Nemeth.
And I thought that you could have used Ring of Honor to elevate people like that, though, too. And I'm referring to Pillman. Like, Pillman could have been like your Ring of Honor television champion. The goal is to eventually get you to main event for the Ring of Honor title. Then we'll bring you 100%. Back up. That you could have done those things with people. And I was hoping that's what ROH would be, but it's kind of like a hybrid. It's kind of weird.
Is Kip Sabian over on Ring of Honor either? I don't watch Ring of Honor, so.
Yeah, I'm not paying that money for it, sadly, but I don't think so.
So I think he's featured on Rampage. The first episode of Ring of Honor that I'm going to see is going to be Collision when it comes here September 30th. It'll be in Seattle. We did get tickets to that, and I think get your tickets because they're not selling good. This is definitely elite territory over here in the Pacific Northwest. It is real over here. You went to Canada. Canada is very elite territory as well. So you know what I'm talking about. It is just like that here. I remember I was talking about CM Punk over at one of the breweries that is right around the corner from the Climate Pledge Arena. The last time I went to Dynamite, like, man, I wish this, crap didn't happen. I'd like to see CM Punk. And two people across from me were just like, screw that, man. We don't get the elite tonight, and they are back. But we have to wait for Kenny to come back because he's doing Wrestle Kingdom, so. And I was like, excuse me.
So, you don't need to ask me how it is here in California.
Yeah. So all three, I think New York probably has more CM Punk fans than.
It's probably a mix. For it.
We'll see. But the tickets for Collision are not selling as well as the first original tickets for Dynamite, which is weird. But I think there's a rumor swirling too that Dynamite will be here in Portland. I think, what would you say, James? October?
I think
it's like October or something.
November. I think it's
okay.
The week before Full Gear supposedly.
So I think they are holding off to get Dynamite tickets. And once again, Elite fans, I'm gonna laugh my ass off if this is the Collision that the Elite show up and CM Punk shows up on Dynamite. The tickets that all the Elite fans bought. I mean, it'll be funny just because I haven't got to see the Elite yet, but it will be sad at the same time because I want to see Punk and FTR. So that's why I wanted to go. We kind of got teased with an FTR return when we were in Seattle, and that didn't go very well. So we didn't get an FTR. We didn't get the Lucha Bros. We kind of got robbed on that that card.
See, and it was calm before the storm because I was there and I witnessed both of them, and there wasn't this much heat back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was before. That was
the
before
first
the
injury he got, or no, I was there when he got the injury, then relinquished it, and then I was there when the Elite won the trios titles back after the
Either way, man, I think this is a really bad look for AEW. I think that Tony Khan needs to do something, maybe hire more management, I don't see him releasing the positions of the EVPs from the Elite. I think that they are locked into that position, unfortunately. But
2027, I believe.
My buddy Casey gave a good idea one time when we were talking about this, and he said that he thinks that Tony Khan should hire like a general manager similar to football, someone who could run the backstage activities for him. I think Tony likes to be in the creative room. If that's what you want to do, fine. You're creative. We bring you the ideas. You say who we hire and all that. Then you could play the good guy. But if you don't want to be the disciplined person, hire a general manager. Let that person crack the heads, and you just tell them what you want. You just say, listen, this is what I want done. Period. I need you to handle it. But if you're going to put the same restrictions that you already have, this isn't going to work, because Jesse said it best. We're talking about CM Punk and all these problems instead of talking about All In and what a great show we've got coming up. There's going to be 80,000 people there. It's going to be great. I wonder what they're going to do. No, instead we're talking about some backstage garbage.
And we're putting a lot of restrictions on the card at All In too. Now, because of certain wrestlers not wanting to be around certain wrestlers, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? I just don't think that. I've said it from the beginning. Cole Cabana, people like Cole Cabana, and now Ryan Nemeth, Jungle Boy, Brandon Cutler. These guys are not worth a CM Punk worth when it comes to your company. There should have been repercussions when Brandon retweeted the gaslighting tweet. There should have been repercussions with all this Ryan Nemeth crap. Jungle Boy should have. I mean, dude, you're messing with the boss's money at this point, right? You just made the top seller when you guys were getting your top ratings. Now you guys are losing ratings. You know, they are slowly going back up, but it took a year to do so.
Damage is done.
It's been a rough year for AEW.
So,
This could have been a rocket climb.
Yeah, and what's wrong with him already, responding to all the reports? I mean, you already damaged his reputation. The last thing he's going to do is at least defend himself. Yeah. I mean, the context of the meeting All In, this paper doesn't feel like All In. There's matches that are left in the card that fans want to see, and you're dropping it because certain people don't want to show up or talk to. We just heard the reports that they still want to refuse talking to Punk.
EVPs.
We're just having this. I just mentioned this to you guys. We're having this problem in a baseball team. Major League Baseball team's having problems where players won't even show up to meetings. They're telling the general manager to F off. They're doing everything. And then when they get asked about it, no, there's nothing wrong here. It's a perfect environment.
All right. Well, everybody watching, man, leave your comments. What do you feel about all the news? Is it a work? How do you feel about this going into All In? Let us know. At this point, I think Dave Meltzer has made it very clear that he wants this to not be a work and wants people to acknowledge that this is not a work. But I don't put it past Tony Khan to have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, because Voices of Wrestling said otherwise too. They said they think it's a work at this point. So I don't know.
I don't know either. It's not like. All I'm saying is if it is a work, this is a really weird way to put this out there for your company to look as bad as it does right now.
And they were the first ones too to say the Punk apologized via text message too. They got to know something. So
does Tony Khan, because Tony Khan has come out and said, look, all of us fans, it's a bad idea for All In and All Out to be a week apart. It's a bad idea for this to be happening and this to be happening. Tony Khan comes out and says, I'm glad people are talking about AEW. It's really exciting that we got All In and All Out a week from each other. This guy just doesn't care that he's not taking into the consideration of us not wanting to pay the $50 each week, right? It's $100 we're talking about per household, whoever's watching it, unless you got some secrets up your sleeve. But you know what I mean? For the most part, it's still a lot of money to ask from your fan base.
Should have did a bundle.
Yeah, and they still haven't announced this bundle, so I don't know if it's going to happen or what the case is. But
$100. That's all you're getting. $100 for both.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. It's not something that I would be excited for. And if this is what the future is to bring for AEW, I can't be doing this every year. I think
eventually I think eventually they're going to change it up, though. I think if they expand that pay-per-view schedule, I think things get moved around. I think they had an opportunity like 80,000. Do you want to do it? Because honestly, I'm going to say this. Can't say it bad. We're 35 minutes in. Tony put the balls on the table with this, because that was bold, I think, to do that. From going from, what's Arthur Ashe, 20,000?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He went ×4 right now, and I'm like, you are a crazy SOB just for like, let's do it. Let's see what happens. What's the worst thing that could happen? And they sold more tickets than a lot of people thought. I remember seeing, I think 35K would be modest, remember those days?
Yeah.
Now
I've said, if you go back in our archives, I've said it from the beginning. I think they'll do at least 75,000 at the least.
They already are at 80,000.
Now we're at 80,000. So
WrestleMania
I was
record.
Close.
They're probably going to pass WrestleMania 32, and I think there's one more. They're going to at least get up almost maybe 85.
Yeah, they're definitely top 5 shows of all time for gross income or whatever.
For attendance, yes, but I guess we can just dive into it, man. We'll save the little triple.
And it's supposed to be annual pay-per-view.
Is it going to be an annual to Wembley?
What I don't know to Wembley, but I've heard just annually. So maybe international waters or big stadium.
So who'd you hear this from?
This was, I can't remember. This was like a while back.
Fucking Dave Meltzer. Are you listening to Dave Meltzer?
I knew. Yo, by the way, they got this show that's gonna be happening every year from now on.
Yeah. Yeah, who's saying? Like, if this ain't facts, we haven't heard nothing like this.
I want to believe, like, when the report came out about the 12-month pay-per-view expanded Warner Brothers, that was like a thrown out there, like, oh yeah, they want to do All In as a annual thing now.
I hope they do. Do I want it to be All In, All Out the next week every year? No.
Hell no.
Absolutely. That's just as bad. Give me a break. If not worse, because I'm paying more for it. Like, I don't want that. You know what I mean? I do want All In as a yearly pay-per-view. I think if you can throw a stadium show every year and do just as good as what you're doing at All In, great. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know how they can do that. I think All In was such it was a big thing for wrestling fans, that even WWE fans, it was a big thing to see another company run a show like this, right? Like, this is huge, especially for the UK fans. The UK fans are probably ecstatic that they're finally getting a show back at Wembley. And this time it's AEW running a stadium. It's big. It is as big as everybody's saying it is. But it's just, to do it yearly is a whole different thing. Like, right now, everybody's coming together, right? Like, this is the AEW's first time doing it. So we're all going to come together and we're going to buy a ticket to go. We're going to do it. There's a lot of people traveling from America to the UK to go to this show. A lot. In the thousands. So, I mean,
as wrestling fans, we use wrestling as the excuse to go to places sometimes. I went to Florida and I was like, 100%. Yeah, we can go to the beach and stuff. Mm-hmm. Why are we going? And I was like, oh, WrestleMania. Oh, yeah. You're like, yeah, I got some tickets. Flo Rida will be there. You know how it goes. But in these situations, man, like, you got to, that was for my brother, because he always used to say that when we go to Florida. But it just depends on, like, how they want to book this show going forward. Personally, I think they need to look at the calendar and reschedule. It was set up before. James, me and you talk about it a lot, and Jesse, you've been in the chat. NFL stuff. We know that Full Gear is always on a Saturday during NFL season because he's not trying to compete with his father. He's going to eventually have to take that stuff back.
Fuck AEW for going to California for Full Gear too, man. I'm going to go on and say that. That shit should have been here. No fucking doubt about it. Like, fuck AEW for going to California. Like, why are we running California? You just ran Revolution there last year. Why couldn't we do a Pacific Northwest pay-per-view
Northern
this year?
California. Let's be in context.
It was because Cody started singing that song. That's why he's got the hoochie screaming. That's why
we just had WrestleMania.
California dreaming. Oh, jeez.
I just, you know how it goes though. Out of the 3 states in your area, that's the that's the big one. You got to go to Cali's. I don't know the reason. Maybe it was booked. Who knows? But like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
No
they're
one
going to the
performs.
biggest piece of shit arena in
No one
California.
performs at the Forum. There's no teams. I mean, I know you want
It is the
Seattle.
worst arena to
They
go
had a
to.
debate. Plus, they had the
Bro,
NBA season. They had.
Shut up for a minute, James. You had the Moda Center right there that we could have ran on a different
Seattle
date.
Kraken. You have
Seattle,
them. You got
the Climate Pledge Arena, brand new arena. You were gonna go down to the busted ass Forum in LA. It's not even in LA,
Forum.
bro. This is in Santa Ana.
No, it's in LA. It's right next. It's right across the street from SoFi.
Yeah.
They're just working it. They're just working up to that Clipper Stadium is open.
James is getting treated like Chicago over here.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth, Chicago. I don't want to hear from you.
I'm gonna go on and say fuck Chicago and fuck California. And I'm from California. I'm gonna go on and say both of those states.
You better tell that to Warner Bros. Discovery.
Go fuck yourself. Like, I'm good.
Jesse, I still believe that your arena will get a pay-per-view. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I think they are going to come there for a pay-per-view just because of how hot your crowd was. You're one of the best crowds that they ever had for a Dynamite, truthfully.
Facts, but guess what? Next time they come and they bring a pay-per-view, I'm going to say, Tony, it's too late. It's too late. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to WWE Backlash. I'm going to go watch my boy Cody. Fuck AEW.
Oh no. Not again.
Not again. Oh, shit. No, I'll probably go. I'm just kidding.
See, I know. He's fronting. Yeah. He'll be right there, front row, Pro Wrestling Shoot banner hanging over the gate.
First of all, I've never been front row to any wrestling event ever.
You saw, real quick, sidebar, WrestleMania ticket prices today? Holy shit.
It's too much, dude.
The 10K was false, according.
I was like, I'm never going again. I'm going again.
I will
I'm
never
shocked
be
that
able
I
to
ended up going.
If I go to a WrestleMania, it is going to be in the nosebleeds, and I'm just going to be like, yay. I'm here. I mean, I'm here. I can't see shit, but I'm here.
Watching over the pillar.
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's too much. This has been this way since Nick Khan has taken over, and it's outrageous, man. I don't know how anybody can afford that. Even saving up all year. Look, I'm not a rich man.
And it's for one night.
For saving up all year long, I could not imagine saving up $10,000.
That was false.
Is that false?
According to Sean, he's like, yeah, that's false. It's 5. I don't know he doesn't know where the 10 came from.
Excuse me. 5 a night.
We're slashing prices. We're slashing them.
We're cutting them in half, dude. Oh, Jesus. Dude, I cannot. $5,000 for a wrestling show. I can't do it. I can't do $5,000 for any show. For any show. It's not just wrestling. It's for anything. Like $5,000 to go in. And that's per night too. If we're talking both nights, maybe. That means I'm paying $2,500 a ticket. And that's
bro. I better be sitting. No, bro. I better be sitting front row. Cody better bring me the belt. I don't care about that kid. I paid $2,500. Adrenaline in my soul. Yes. Yeah, I'm right there. Like, no.
Give me the weight belt, Cody. Give me the weight belt.
It's just way too much, like you said. I think that's a lot for a show.
I don't understand how they can ask this much from their fans. It's outrageous to me.
So I'm seeing a ticket. Someone went on there. Someone bought one ticket just to see.
So are they for sale now? Like they're already on sale?
I presume. Yeah,
we're already selling WrestleMania tickets.
Section F4, row 3, seat 6 for one ticket. $10,159 with a $412 tax added.
How much?
Tax costs more. The tax costs more than when I bought multiple tickets.
Yeah, it says total included $412.50.
Just for taxes?
That's
My collision ticket cost $100. $100.
Hopefully this is on one night, so I don't know what happened.
Where did you sit for collision? Sorry, you guys are getting like the This is sponsored by WrestleTix. Show us some love, WrestleTix. But wait, where did you sit for collision when you paid $100?
Oh no! I'm going to be sitting for collision. I paid
$100 though. You say,
yeah.
Where are you sitting?
Well, Michael paid $100. He bought my ticket. I got to pay him back. But yeah, he got our tickets. Yeah, For real.
Where you guys
we are
sitting, though? Like,
sitting
area?
right off the floor. I want to
Ryan
say
Nemeth lover?
second row off the floor.
Why you say that about him?
Dude,
Michael
because
is.
he has mentioned to us every time he watched BT, he was the only one that I know loved Ryan Nemeth on
Dude,
BT.
Michael is like the biggest.
He was the only one I haven't heard him talk
biggest mark for any of these guys. He loves Brandon Cutler. He loves Ryan Nemeth. He loves him some Jungle Boy. I love Michael, but he loves everybody that he's a big Maki Ito fan. You know what I mean? Like that's his shit, man. Like Michael is just all in, pun intended, for AEW in general. Like he likes Punk too. He's one of the elite fans. He loves Elite. He loves Punk. He's just not one of those fans that gets in the middle of all the drama, you know?
If he
Yeah,
does,
likes what he
it's
likes.
a work. That's all he always tells us. It's a work.
Yeah, he has said that since the beginning too. So
MJF and the whole money thing, work.
So $100 for those tickets, like, to me, that's crazy. I've never paid to go to an AEW show, even in the triple digits for a ticket. Never. And I usually have pretty good seats.
Let me tell you something, dude. Over here at the Climate Pledge Arena, we like to rip our fans off. I don't think it has anything to do with AEW when it comes to the Climate Pledge, because my tickets were not that price when I went to Portland. Climate Pledge has something called club seats. Everything in the first 3 rows that are facing the ring are considered club. That is how this arena is built. Both sides. 3 sections. You know what I mean? And we're talking a couple thousand seats. All club. So when you buy these seats, not only do they charge you, and actually it came out cheaper this time than it did for Dynamite, because Dynamite we paid like $200 a ticket. It was $200 a ticket to sit in the club section. And this time I did see some Collision tickets for cheaper. So it starts out at $80. And then you get tacked on with $25 club fees. It's a club fee, $25 club fee to sit in that section. And before it was a $35 club fee, and the seats itself were $119. So now you got the $35 club fee, and then you get all that bullshit from Ticketmaster. So Ticketmaster just goes and just takes everything away.
Best customer service in the world.
Ticketmaster is the biggest piece of shit company in the world, and they need to go away. I would almost rather buy tickets from anywhere else other than Ticketmaster at this point, because it's just robbery.
Well, the other ones are pretty slimy.
They're getting
the other ones are slimy.
I think in September. Ticketmaster.
Well, hopefully they get shut down and we get a new ticket outlet. You remember the days when you used to just be able to go to a Fred Meyer or something and they would print you off tickets? Do you guys ever do that? They would print the legit tickets out for you?
Yes.
Fred Meyer, or like it was like any Ticketmaster outlet.
Back in my day, during the Attitude Era, my dad had to go to the arena to try to get tickets, and that shit
too.
Used
that
to
was
be
the
crazy.
Yep.
And I can tell you, half the time he would either come home and be like, "I got him for you, bud," and then the other half was, "Well, not so lucky this time." You just get the disappointment when if I hear they're on sale, I'll try to get you some. Yeah,
it's wild, man. Let's get into some comments real quick, and then we will dive into this All In, or what we know of All In. Steve Kelly says, doing better. Yeah, just got back from work today. Yeah. Isaiah Hill, he says, nothing much, just getting excited for WWE 2K24. Isaiah Hill, man, he's that rah 2K24 guy.
That's
man.
He's my dude. For
he's 2K24. My dude, yeah. Said, yo, AEW is slowly dying down. I think they're just I don't think they're dying down, but they're definitely losing a lot of momentum just because of what's going on. Hudson, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. Matthew Lopez, what's going on, brother? He says, good evening, all. Matthew Lopez. Yeah. Why? What is this? Is the Simpsons
Derek
guy,
always
right?
does it, so we just do that all the time.
The Simpsons guy. Good evening.
Oh, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, Mr. Burns. Yeah. Good evening. He says, hell no way. Do All In, then All Out week later. So wait. So he wants to do All Out a week later?
No,
you like that setup?
He seems like he's disagreeing with it.
Look at this. Comment of the night. Matthew Lopez. Portland or Seattle should have gotten full gear. Crowd better than LA.
Then tell the Portland Trail Blazers and the Kraken. Tell that to the NHL.
James
And
about to be
NBA.
there yucking it up with WBD execs and shit. Like, I got an idea for you.
Why don't you
Let's
come
pro
down here?
wrestling
shoot on here.
It's easier
Dang
to
it.
come down to here into California. We're
Motherfucker
right
can't
there.
even hand out a business card when he's at these
No,
arenas.
that's
Get
not
alone
true.
talk to
That's
some
not,
WBD.
no, they were all gone. I showed my evidence.
He said they're all gone. Motherfucker went outside and just threw them. Hopefully people will pick him up. Steve Kelly says, Cody.
Do you guys have like the indie guys who put like the stuff on all your cars if you ever drive down there and stuff, or you see like a million of the flyers on the floor? Yeah, Impact was doing that when I went to Toronto.
I got that
too.
Ryan Namath comedy one time, and I threw that in the trash.
Impact Wrestling was doing it?
Impact did it in Toronto. Whoever they had on like their street team, they must have been just out there passing out because they were going to be in town like the next week. It was smart, I thought, at Forbidden Door to do it.
Interesting. Matthew Lopez says Chicago should be benched. They got they get All Out Survivor Series and Bound for Glory. Fuck Chicago, dude. Straight up. He says I ain't paying no $10,000. The F. Steve Kelly.
A vulgar chat tonight.
It is very, very. Steve Kelly. Well, I'm kind of being vulgar. I kind of started all that. My bad. Just one of them days, you know. It must be the heat wave. Apologies,
I'll take a picture
YouTube.
at Full Gear for you.
Oh,
the world iconic.
Steve Kelly says, at least our WWE house shows start at 15. Yeah, that's true. And the WWE house show is selling really good. They're about to sell out, which is incredible. Like, I don't understand it. Like, in Kennewick, Washington, bro. Kennewick, if you knew my area, it's wild, bro. I think that AEW should really consider coming here for a Dynamite.
Bro, they do it here in Palm Springs.
Fill up a 5,000 seat arena. You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll let them do fireworks here, but I don't know. That is the reason WWE's never came, which is bullshit because then when they stopped doing fireworks for the years that they stopped doing the fireworks, they still never brought TV here. So I don't get it.
Wait a minute. Why can't they do fireworks?
It's a small arena.
Oh, wow. So I've been educated. Okay.
It's a very small arena. Yeah. I don't think the roof is high enough or maybe it's like a fire marshal thing. Something, I don't know. When Slipknot came here, all bets were off. I'll tell you that because Slipknot, that whole show was pyro, bro. And that's the only thing that I've ever seen do pyro there was Slipknot at the Toyota Center. It's crazy. Matthew Lopez says 5,000 plus hotel merch, food if you're coming out of state. Yeah, WrestleMania is. I just don't see how people can. Like I said, man, I could save for all year long. And once I get done with that experience, it still wouldn't be worth it to me. Like, I'd much rather like take a trip to the Bahamas, Hawaii, something other than. I love pro wrestling, man, but spending that much money on pro wrestling when I could take my entire family on like our dream vacation,
a cruise, or anything like that.
Who needs a family when you got WrestleMania? Nick
Dude. Oh, look, goat. Let's see. Stephen Kelly says, how much do the venues charge for the big events? I have no idea. I've never ran a wrestling show, so that wouldn't be. Maybe you should talk to William from Prestige Wrestling. He might be able to educate you on that. He says, my guy is Sting. Sting will be at All In.
The singer.
No, he ain't talking about. I promise you, he ain't talking about the singer. I know what kind of music Steve listens to, and it ain't that. Positively E says pre-sale. I think they had signs in New York City for Mania 40 in Philly. I still don't understand why we're going to Philly, but whatever. Steve Kelly says Ticketmaster charges extra taxes. Yeah, it's like multiple different fees, not just taxes. Yeah. Taxes on top of handling fees and everything. They rob you, man. It's just a robbery. So Matthew Lopez says, back in my day, you had to get a wristband at the arena the night before to insure your tickets for wrestling shows. I do remember doing something like that. I think I did that for Monday Night Raw years ago. How old are you, Matthew Lopez? You look young when you say back in my day. Are we talking like 10 years ago? How old are you?
He's up here talking about when Orton was like the Intercontinental champ back in my day.
Back in my day, Kofi Kingston should have won that title. Let me You what? Steve Kelly says at the WrestleMania or at the Walmart I work at, we have sold no copies of Fight Forever.
Probably in
And
the
you ain't
dumpster.
gonna. Yeah, we're not even gonna get into the Fight Forever talk because that's a whole podcast in itself.
That's a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no slander. No slander.
I've already slandered that thing as much as I can, man. There's no point of going.
Well,
back
No,
now.
we got her.
You know what? No. I'm getting into this a little bit. There is fair slander. There is fair slander. And then there is you are beating.
You just
them
opened a
up.
can of
They're-
worms. To say
Yeah,
that.
dude, they're down on the ground, their mouths bleeding, and someone's like, kick him again, put out another video about them dying. That's what people are doing. You cannot lie. There
It's
are
like
some people who are doing that.
3 videos of this. It's the same thing. The same thing on the video, just 3 different titles in it each time.
Just to get
Great.
people to hate watch it. Like, give it up, bro. Give it up. I mean,
I gave my review, man. I gave my review. If you guys want my thoughts, anybody listening to the podcast, you want my thoughts on AEW Fight Forever, you can go check out that video. I gave my recommendations.
They're still in vignette form, is what we're waiting.
I hope the game does better in the future. Right now, it's not doing so hot, but in the future, I hope for the best, man. I love alternatives. Like, I don't want just WWE, anything. I don't want just one wrestling company, period. I want different wrestling games. I want different wrestling promotions. That's just who I am, man.
I hope they're making that battle pass or whatever they're going to release worth it.
Absolutely. What were they releasing? The Stadium Stampede. That's what's coming out at some point.
Well,
no dates confirmed.
Considering All In is in the stadium, is that
For
when they
fuck's
release
sake,
it?
don't look at Nintendo's website. Matthew Lopez says, "I don't want a back-to-back pay-per-views. I'm also against All In and All Out back-to-back. Keep those a month apart at least." Yeah, I agree, man. Look, I hope that All In is a yearly thing because, like I said, if AEW can run the yearly stadium shows, then great. That puts them up to par with WWE, right? Like WWE runs, I think, 3 stadiums a year. Well, no, I don't count them Saudi shows. But for the most part, 3 stadiums a year.
All right, so let's do this real quick. Just real quick. How would you structure their pay-per-views and stuff? Like, how would you do it going forward if you're AEW?
If we're sticking with the same format or if we're going to monthly? Because if we're going to monthly, it's going to have to be
Let's say it's
streaming.
monthly.
Okay,
let's say it's monthly.
It's going to have to be streaming.
HBO Max will be on there, and they'll archive the pay-per-views after, I don't know, let's say a month. But we're still charging $50 when the pay-per-view is live, which I think is the smart thing to do. Don't WWE this to where it's $10, because I feel like WWE can't get out of that now. Like, if they ever were like, give me $30, I'll be like, ha, yeah, right. Like, no way.
I don't think they need to, though. I don't think they need to, because they can sell their rights for exactly what they would make in pay-per-view revenue to the companies that are streaming it.
Probably more. More.
So I mean,
with the merger,
I think that AEW can do the same thing and offer us $10. I don't think that I think the pay-per-view game is dead. I don't think it needs to be a thing. Like nobody.
How's UFC sales?
Yeah,
anybody know?
Because
it depends on if you're talking to Dana White, they're the biggest numbers that they've ever done, but
we got the best ratings, brother.
IG live stream, you gotta look at it. Dude.
Listen, man, pay-per-view sales have.
We
never
got the
been
Nielsen's in the back with the viewership.
Pay-per-view sales have never been that crazy. Like, what is? Let me ask you this: what is AEW's highest selling pay-per-view number?
All Out 2021, I think. Right?
What was the number?
I don't know. They got close to 200, I thought. Hold on.
200,000 ain't shit. That's what I'm saying. Like 200,000 buys, they're excited about that because pay-per-view is not that big. Imagine being on streaming with HBO Max. Chances are you're going to get seen by a lot more.
Sorry, I'm looking up the buy rate because I have to know now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the buy rate for you.
I think that when you go to streaming,
205. I was wrong.
So yeah, that's not a big number, man. I mean, I'm not saying that just like for AEW standards or WWE standards. I'm just saying it's not a big number in general when you could be putting it on streaming to people that have the subscription already. Just because people have subscriptions to HBO Max doesn't mean they're going to buy your pay-per-view. Does that make sense? So if you give it to them with the subscription price, everybody's going to watch it. Oh, what's this?
They're going to have to boost it though. They're going to have a live tier then. There's going to be another tier that they're going to add on, and then they're going to say for live
Why,
content. You're
but
gonna have to
why
pay
though?
this.
Why would they have to?
Just because they've already done it for 4K. Like, why wouldn't you do it for live streaming then? Like, oh, if you want live streaming, you got to pay for that, or you got to bundle it with the 4K.
Yeah, just
So,
bundle it.
Last UFC event got 750,000 buys. Estimated
crazy.
40 million in revenue.
And
40
UFC
mil.
is trash now, bro. Look, my nephew fights for the UFC, so I'm not slandering my nephew.
Highest
at all.
number of
Like,
buys for a UFC pay-per-view since UFC 261, 2021 of April.
Who's this? Do you know who the main was?
On UFC 291. Oh, on the previous one?
On the highest one you just said.
Let me see.
So that was just this latest
Yeah,
pay-per-view that he
yeah.
was talking about. So
That was the latest one on the card of 261. Who was on that? That was George Masvidal and I don't know how to pronounce it. Usman for the
Usman?
yep.
Yeah.
I just
For the
haven't
BMF
been
title.
excited for it.
Yeah, that was the last
It was-
time. I
it was
remember I
for the
fell
BMF
asleep. I
title.
remember I bought this. I fell asleep.
Yeah, I just haven't been excited for UFC. Like, I don't ever pay for it. If it's on, I'll watch it.
There's
but-
nothing selling fights. There's nothing selling fights, and the UFC used to be a different ball game, man. They used to be just as showsman. They had just as much showsmanship as like a WWE or a professional wrestling.
Hell, I think
or
boxing,
whatever.
celebrity boxing's like the big key thing now, and the buy rates are crazy for that.
Yeah. So yeah, Jake Paul has got these guys everything that UFC's doing beat out by far. And that's why UFC's kind of hopping on board too by throwing Nick Diaz in the fight with Jake Paul. Stupid fight. We all knew that Nick Diaz can't, like, you're not going to knock Nick Diaz out, but he's not going to win a boxing fight.
Yeah,
You know
let's
what I
see,
mean?
What did
So,
that?
It's
know what
what's got you intrigued right now, Conrad? You're looking at the numbers.
500K for Jake Paul's last fight with Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
Sold over. That's a lot for a boxing match. Like I said, I don't think pay-per-view is what it used to be, but for wrestling, I'm like, that's pretty credible. But I see why Vince got out of that game too, though.
Yeah.
Cut the middleman out, and that brings more cash back to you because when
Listen,
you're on
man,
pay-per-view, they're taking a chunk. They're taking a little piece.
That's what I'm saying. And if you're putting the pay-per-views on HBO Max and they're exclusive to HBO Max, you cannot get this on pay-per-view, nothing else. You have to have a subscription to HBO Max. Wrestling fans are going to be forced to get that subscription, just like we were with Peacock. Like,
It's the same with ESPN
I
Plus.
can't, you know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, I couldn't order every single pay-per-view that came out. I'm sure you guys couldn't either. Like, my parents weren't buying me all that. Now I'm an adult. Dude, $10 for WWE? $9.99? Take my money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm buying it. That's a cheap price. I do believe HBO Max is at the $20 mark, but it's still worth it because HBO Max is the better streaming service anyway. So if you're at the $20 mark with HBO Max or whatever it is, if you're grandfathered into the 15 like I am for the 4K, then great for you. But I don't think that they need pay-per-view anymore, man. I don't think you need to charge extra for their live services.
Yeah,
Personally.
I mean, as long as they get a pretty penny for it, though, I think Tony's going to want a nice chunk.
Some
like, listen,
revenue
As he
back.
should. As he should.
Yeah, and if they're gonna do all those shows, let's just say it's not on HBO Max. They're still gonna stick to pay-per-view for a little bit. I think if you're gonna expand your calendar, don't do a full 12. I still say you spread it out. Maybe you go 6 to 8. Once you do that, spread them out evenly. Like, okay, every couple months we're gonna do this, and then for the lower shows, like whatever you add, that Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fall, and maybe you make those pay-per-views, charge $20. Put it on BR Live, $20.
Yeah. You could
15
always run like the in your house style pay-per-views, where they're cheaper. You got them at a
The
discount
theme
price or
shows.
whatever the case is. I would be okay with that, man, because I wouldn't buy them. I don't like Fyter Fest anyway. I usually never watch that show from AEW or Fight for the Fallen. This year I will because I think they're doing it on Dynamite. They have been doing it on Dynamite, but I remember at one point they were doing it on different. I think it was
in the
before
beginning
got
they had it. That was before
Yeah.
they had TV, so they were
That was
like,
before they had
keep the
TV,
name
yeah.
out there.
Yep. Yeah.
Give me
Okay.
one.
James backing out, man. All right. I think right now is a good time to, I guess we can hit a couple comments too before. Let's see here. Isaiah Hill, do you think Edge should go to AEW for a match? with his best friend Christian. Christian's trash, but I'll leave that question to Conrad over here. What do you think, man? You think Edge should go to AEW?
I think there's only one match I would want to see Edge do that I think he would do it for. And this is just me speculating. If you could get Edge and Christian, the Hardys, I think Devon would be welcome. Bubba Ray's the one that I'm like, I don't know if Tony messes with him because of Busted Open, but get them all in the ring one last time.
I honestly think that. Do you listen to Busted Open?
I don't.
I think that what Bubba Ray or Bully Ray or whatever you want to call him, I think that what he has to offer when it comes to criticism for AEW and WWE is fair. I don't think that he.
No matches for All In. Just have the card be a surprise.
Well, I'm talking about criticism. I'm not talking about,
his ideas,
his booking. Yeah, his booking. No, I'm talking about like if people were worried about him going into AEW because of the criticism. I think that when he criticizes AEW, some of it is fair. Like for the most part, it's fair. I've never really heard anything that I was like, you're crazy. He does have some really good ideas when it comes to how you should have played out this match or whatever. He's an old school guy, and I'm into old school wrestling, so I like that style of booking. But it's a lot of dusty finishes, and people just don't like that nowadays. So that's kind of where we're at.
I feel like it was something with the refs, he said, and I think Tony wasn't feeling it.
I think it was the refs holding the ladder and all that shit.
No, he said something way before about like the refs making errors in the ring. I remember he asked Tony
about it. Tony, does.
And Tony got defensive real quick, and I'm like, he's not wrong though for that.
No,
like,
no.
There's errors that are made.
That's what I mean. I feel like his criticism is fair when it comes to some of the stuff they talk about in AEW. He does the same thing for WWE though when they're talking about WWE. So obviously he's a little more biased to WWE. He's going to lean more to the WWE side because that's where he's from. That's his thing. Mark Henry is both criticized AEW and WWE as well, but he's going to lean towards AEW side right now because he works for him. So it's just the case. Positively, he says Matt Daddy. He says TK said Fight Forever sales are good, and he didn't mean Final Fantasy. TK is going to say that though. He's not going to come out and be like, "Oh, this game's doing trash," like TK is gonna put over his company no matter what. I don't know. I'm speculating right now. There are no players on Steam that you could see the numbers on Steam when it comes to the live streams and stuff. There are no numbers for Fight Forever. They have just went away. As it comes down to like the game sales, I'm sure they did all right because everybody bought it and everybody bitched about it. So they already got the money. My thing is, let's just make it better. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff to add in the game.
They made 900,000 on the first week for the game, and it was number 3 in the UK.
There you go. I don't know. Where'd you get those numbers? Dave Meltzer?
Let's see. This is from
report.
Whoever this, let's see.
Fucking dirt sheets.
Sportslulu.com. I don't know who the hell this is, but this is where they got the number.
All right, that's where we move on. I don't know who the hell that is. That's exactly where we move on. Matthew Lopez says they should make All In a July or August pay-per-view. Yeah, if you're going to run a stadium, an open stadium, it's definitely going to have to be some point in the summer. But
you want to know right now. Too. In the last 70 minutes, you have 36 active players. In the last 24 hours, 59 active players.
That's more than what I've heard before. So
1.4 gross revenue, 31,140 units sold. Average playtime, 10.1 hours. Median playtime, 7.6.
Who's saying that?
This is on this is the same site that what's the one guy? Lynch Reborn gets all his info, and they have quick stats of today. It's on a 13% discount right now at $52. It's on sale.
Steve Kelly asks, is WWE leaving Peacock? Yes, it is. WWE will be exiting the cock. Tokyo Domenis says,
is that confirmed?
Yeah, their deal. Well, I don't know if they're leaving, but their deal runs in 2026. A couple more years.
Got it.
They
I know they said Peacock's in trouble right now for how much they've spent.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, but they're actually doing better because they're getting well, I don't know if their numbers are doing good compared to what they paid for WWE, but they are getting a lot more content. We're getting first come movies from the theaters on Peacock. We're also getting stand-up
UFC supposed
specials.
to.
Kevin Hart just took his special to Peacock rather than taking it back to Netflix. So
the market's going to get competitive for this stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
where we're heading. The only thing that's a problem is when you watch sports and stuff like that. If you ever watch on like Fox app and stuff where they have that dead airspace where nothing's on, it's just like, we'll be right back. And I'm like, you should be having commercials playing here or something to make
have
some
something,
revenue.
man.
As a businessman, like I'm sitting there like, why would I not be making money on this? And why am I looking at this screen? I should get up and go do something else.
100%, man. Matthew Lopez says HBO Max has so much good stuff. Adding AEW content, including live streams, would be cherry on top. Yeah, HBO Max is great, man. I mean, I'm enjoying Netflix the most. I'm going to go on and say that. Netflix right now has more TV shows that I watch, more original content is being pumped out on Netflix than there is for HBO. Do I think that the original content on Netflix is better than HBO's original content? Not really, because HBO's original content is really good. They just don't release it as often as a Netflix. At least the stuff I'm watching. I'm not, I'm enjoying Netflix more right now, but HBO is fantastic when it comes to them. If you're like DC, you'll love HBO Max. Steve Kelly says, I agree, Conrad. Matthew Lopez. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and star that comment right there. Christian trash. He is. That's a fact. Christian is like promo of the year. Boo. A promo of the year from Christian.
He kicked his own daughter out of the arena.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was good. That was good. I did watch that. But still, I mean, get this title off of him immediately.
He's not even the champ. I love that people keep saying this.
I know.
Well, it's because he's promoting him as the champ. That's what it is.
Luchasaurus defended my title.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather have it on Christian than Luchasaurus, if I'm being fair. Luchasaurus should not have a title at all. Tokyo Dominus, it's not Jim Cornette bad. What's not Jim? Oh, like Fight Forever? Is that what he's talking about?
I think sometimes you're behind on them because when you read my comments, I'm like, you're way behind.
You're like, what?
Oh, okay.
Remind me.
Okay. By the way, I'm 31. Okay. Yeah. He's still a youngin. Let me see. But I think WWE will go to ESPN Plus. I hope not, man. I don't think ESPN will go for it. But
what I heard is that UFC wants them to merge with them for the streaming services, and they already have the deal on ESPN.
It could happen, though. I'm not going to say, it won't happen.
I mean, they're mentioning wrestling more on ESPN in a good while. And
Conrad, where's SmackDown going? That's a good question.
Not Fox. I'm pretty sure it's not Fox. You saw once they made the announcer change, I was like, that was kind of the big, okay. Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. We got to see what happens with the Endeavor stuff first. They're making a lot of changes. I mean, if Fox is like, are we going to get UFC? Maybe you could bundle some deals now with your content and what you're going to promote and stuff. So
yeah,
who knows? I could see Amazon trying to get in the race too. Amazon paid for Thursday Night Football. Why? I don't know, but that's what they're doing. Maybe you get some pro wrestling in there too.
We'll see, man. We'll see. All in, man.
Yes.
What do you think about the build to this, Conrad? We'll go Conrad and then we'll go James.
That's a full question. I don't have an issue with the build. I think the matches could be better, if that's fair. I think I challenged people this the other day, which was, tell me what All In should look like to you. And I want you to tell me what your card is. Give me 10 matches, whatever it's going to be. Full card. No BS, nothing else. But you can't book Punk versus the Elite because you got.
Do I have to give you 10 matches? I mean, you know how I feel about these long ass cards.
Hold on, take this down. Take this graphic down. We're gonna talk about this too. You see how Becky Lynch and them are feeling? Didn't I tell you that day was gonna come? It ain't gonna be all peaches and cream with. Oh, who cares about Becky Lynch?
Who cares?
She WrestleMania 35, and now it's who cares about Becky?
Look, the only reason she got pushed to the side is because Ronda was giving her farewell. Would I have rather had Becky Lynch on the card than Ronda and Shayna? Absolutely. Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus would have fit a lot more. But
I don't know. I
you don't think so?
Life gives you lemons.
I don't know. I don't know what I would have picked over that. I think if they would have did fight pit match, I think that would have been better. What I'm saying is there's always going to be people who are going to be pretty cheesed off that they're not on the card eventually. Like that's where I think we're getting to with this, where someone's going to be like, how come insert, I don't know, whoever is hot right now. How come Bronson Reed's not on the card? How come Johnny Gargano can't get a pay-per-view match? Where's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens this time? Triple H is trying to mix it up, but it feels very weird with all of that. But
at the same time, like it doesn't go as long and it's not as tiresome.
Is it? I don't know. I felt pretty tired. I was falling asleep.
Bro, when I went to AEW, I'm going to go on and say it. I was burnt out by the end. Like when they were showing me dark matches, I was like, I don't care. We're just going to, as a matter of fact, when I went to Battle of the Belts, that same week, went to Battle of the Belts and Rampage, they did dark before Rampage, Battle of the Belts, and then more dark again. Bro, at the end, I looked at my granddaughter.
Wait, they record dark matches for you guys after?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is weird. That has never happened to me at any show I've ever went to.
Yeah, dude, we got like 6 hours of pro wrestling. It was intense.
Yeah,
it was too much.
At a Rampage, they had dark before and then dark after.
Yeah.
See, at mine, it's always dark before, but then you'll get like either Rampage after, or you get Dynamite, and then Rampage is kind of quick. But they do it smart. Like they would always put on the best match right after to get you hyped back up, have the calm down match, and they'll have one more at the end where they can bring you back up. But Forbidden Door, we were dead by Danielson.
When you went to Dynamite 2, you also had Rampage followed by your Dynamite, correct?
Yeah.
I didn't get that. So I got Dynamite by itself, remember, because they booked Rampage in Portland with Battle of the Belts. So
okay, so that's a rarity. Yeah. So just prepare yourself if it's ever like the regular, because it's not that bad. I think sitting through 2 tapings of Dark would be awful.
But what I'm saying is, What I'm saying is WWE gives you that 4-hour pay-per-view, and 4 hours I still think is like it's too much. Like I don't watch the pre-show, but anybody can watch the
Tribal Combat.
Yeah, I just I'm good on that.
They don't even do pre-show matches anymore.
Yeah, that's if there is a match on the pre-show, I will try to turn that match on towards the end of the pre-show. Usually when it happens, it's usually not at the beginning of any
like
pre-show.
20 minutes before.
Yeah. So I will try to catch it then, but even then, I'm just like, if the match isn't important, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to watch when the actual card starts. I like WWE structure when it comes to pay-per-views. 6 matches is fine. 30-minute matches, okay.
Good luck with this one, since the Ticketmaster photo of everyone pushing that they're supposed to open at 5, now they're opening at 3.
What, for All In?
Yeah, I seen that photo going around.
I think you have to for bigger arena shows, though. I like when the doors open earlier, because you don't want to have
more people.
What WrestleMania was it where they opened them late, and it was like 32 actually, Dallas. They waited too long to put people in, and I wonder if Tony just looked that up, was like, we got to open these earlier because I don't want that issue to where everybody arrives at 5 and they're like, well, dude, why can't we get in the show starting? I can hear it out here, and it's like, we got to screen you, and it just takes a while. It's a process. Getting back to the card, though, I went off topic because I'm good for that.
You're good.
That's why I'm on here. So the card, I like some of the matches, but some of them they don't make the most sense to. I don't know. There's some matches that you're like, are we doing this, or is this going to be like some multi-man fuckery? You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do here with this? Like I said, I have a fear of the Bucks and FTR, and I could have went back on the CM Punk rant before why I think people could be upset, and it's what you said. I do believe that the Bucks are winning. Like, I don't want to think that way, but I do think that's happening. And I feel like later they're going to get the trios titles as a consolation prize. Like, thanks for doing that.
James, what do you think about this card so far? Keep in mind, they are booking this show to be the biggest wrestling event of all time. That is what that's what they're booking it to be. It is supposed to be the biggest thing ever. Okay. But all we have to show for that right now is 80,000 fans.
Yeah, it's a weird context. You have your main event in a open hour or 0 hour context. They've been hearing the reactions of Cole and MJF.
How do you feel about that too? MJF and Adam Cole on the card twice.
I mean, the story's been going on for what 2 months now, just about. You've heard the crowd go wild for them in the tag team division. I think that was one they couldn't softly play off necessarily. And it's probably going to lead into the main event later on, possibly them losing, having tensions high. And some of the other matches are just like thrown last minute, with maybe 2 weeks of build or even no build. You have a women's champion that just got crowned, and now you're doing your favorite thing, your tournament style, with a week or two, behind before the pay-per-view. It's kind of like a 30-70 with the card. Like some of it has storyline base, some of them they try to throw in and flex in for like 2 week span and make it work. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't comply so well. Like now you have what else are they trying to throw in the card? Obviously Punk and Joe, that's been going on for a little bit.
We'll talk about the matches. I'm just saying, like, how do you feel about these top matches? Like, is this the best card that you could come up with? Of course, the AEW roster.
No. There's
for your biggest show.
I mean, this company, a lot of fans are always on the dream matches part, and they always throw it away on a Dynamite or somewhere. And what matches?
Sorry, go ahead.
There's certain matches we do want to see, and they're just getting pushed off. When are we ever going to see them? They're probably going to be seen if those matches happen. Probably at some smaller show, and this is your time. You should have done it. This is your first time in London. You should go literally the terminology of all in, and I don't believe you're getting that whatsoever.
Tokyo Domena says SummerSlam end at 12:15 a.m. Show was too long, so I'm assuming it starts for you at what 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock for you guys, right? 8 p.m. is Eastern. Okay, for us it's not long. For West Coast, we start at 5 o'clock, we end at 9:15. Yeah, we end at 9:15. So it's not long for us because that's a 4.5 hour show. Now, AEW does the same thing for you guys, and they sometimes will go 5 hours. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that the SummerSlam layout to me was perfect because I felt like it didn't burn me out. Like I was watching it towards the end of Roman and Jay. I was like, all right, let's
wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. You know what I mean? But that was at the end, and that, like I said, 4 hours to me is too long. I would like to go back to 3 hour pay-per-views. Like if we could tell our story that we need to tell in 3 hours, I just don't see it being possible with AEW considering how long their matches go.
Let me be social media. You could have put that on Raw.
You could have. But that's the thing with AEW too, is a lot of these matches that you're now seeing on their pay-per-views, they've burnt out on their Dynamites to give you that pay-per-view feel for Dynamite every Wednesday, right? So my thoughts on this pay-per-view, man, is they definitely did not go all in for this. Your main event is going to be Adam Cole, MJF for the title. I don't subscribe to the notion of putting this on in the mid card. Your title is your heavyweight champion's your heavyweight champion. It needs to go on end. I don't really care that it's MJF, Adam Cole. This is the story we were going to tell anyway. I don't really think that this is the greatest match that we can get it all in, but I also don't think it's the worst. Does that make sense? So how do you feel about Adam Cole versus MJF, Conrad?
I think that they've done a good job promoting this, and I think you have to watch what the people are feeling. This is one of the more eyeball-driven storylines. Like I said, I usually don't talk numbers a lot with people, but if we're going to talk business-wise, why is Tony putting this on in the main event? And there's a story behind it. Who was the first match at All In, the first show?
Max.
MJF versus Matt Cross. I still to this day would love to know why Matt Cross never got signed by AEW. Son of Havoc from Lucha Underground, for those who don't know. But MJF was in that match. The story now gets to be, look at what has happened in 5 years. He has now been from the opener to he's the main event. He is the champion of this company. Boom. So it makes a great story. And at the same time, you get Adam Cole's feel-good story. And people love double clothesline. They're buying the merch. That merch was selling.
The storyline that's going on with MJF and Adam Cole right now is by far the most over storyline on AEW.
And it all started with a tournament that got him over.
You just had to throw that bullshit in here, didn't you, James?
It worked. They got one out of what?
Tournaments, bro. We're not going to get into it. Conrad, go ahead. Say your piece, bro.
No, just you have something here, and I think it developed organically. At first, I think it was just going to be like, let's do the turn, boom, we'll get to the match, let's do this. I still wonder, because you could mess with this now. Just think for a second. I know everybody wants MJF to be the champ, but let's just say you wanted to flip the story. What if you had Cole, Roderick, and the Kingdom, and this was all a setup? You could go that way. You could go MJF, use them to turn on Adam Cole.
I got a TikTok out there. Shows Adam Cole holding the title. Do you remember when I released that? It was a blown up picture of the AEW title and him holding it because he's so small. I was like, this is how ridiculous Adam Cole would look as our champion. Like, I love Adam Cole, man, but I had to throw that dig. Do I think that Adam Cole, it's the right time to put it on Adam Cole? I don't think so.
I wouldn't do it either.
Could you go there?
No. You could. But
yeah, you could go there, but I'd say ride this MJF train, man. You got to find that right. I'm gonna go on and say it, dude. The right person to beat MJF is CM Punk. It's always been CM Punk since the beginning of that storyline. That was the guy to take it from him. But
I don't even know how I feel about that. I don't know.
Cody's knocking on the door.
I mean, yes, you don't do it now. Look, and if I had it my way, you know what I mean? I've said this before. This is my prediction. Cody is not staying in WWE for, the rest of his career. I would bring Cody back in the fold.
Maxwell, Great American Bash, Bull Rope match.
Let's do it, man. I'm down, bro.
Brandon Farrow, my corner.
Bro, tell me it wouldn't be poetry in motion, though. Cody Rhodes coming back to AEW, the homecoming.
You have the out with Cody. MJF threw in the top. Cody technically never lost that match. They always have that where they could.
I feel like a good story could be told with it.
If he comes back, that should be part of the negotiations, that there is something holding up the Cody contract to why he won't come back. And he contested. You could even have it be like a fake court where they're like contesting. He didn't quit, and then MJF could come. This is bull. You could do a bunch of stuff with it if you wanted to.
Steve Kelly says, who do you have winning between Adam Cole, Bebe, and MJF? I have MJF winning, and I have Roderick Strong turning on Adam Cole to help MJF win. That's my prediction for that. I think it's too obvious. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's where I got.
I think MJF leaves them high and dry at some point during the tag match. Maybe he either fakes an injury, he does something. Those guys cost him. Then it's known, and then MJF finds a way to snake him.
Yeah, they're willing to snake each other. They already threw the context of Cole doing the backstab he did back in NXT. So.
I still think Adam Cole should be the smarter one, though. I'm tired of people falling for MJF's games. Like, even now, I still don't trust him. I would just say, you got to have him know that he's going to turn, and then he super kicks him or something. It's
been great, though. The MJF is so captivating. He's so good at getting you to hate him, getting you to love him, getting you to boo, getting you to cheer. Like he just
when you have fans,
he has so much control over the fans.
The scumbag thing, the stuff that would not be mentioned on WWE television. I don't even know how. Hey, here's my devil worshippers in the crowd.
It's wild, man. Matthew Lopez says, I like some of the matches. I fear there's going to be one or two other big singles added. And then the rest will be multi-man tag and a battle royal. I agree with that. I think there is a couple more singles matches to be added. And then you're right. I think we'll throw in a battle royal. I know we're going to get a trios match. I think that Kenny Omega is doing a trios match
I
All
think
In.
I think that's a mistake. I really think Kenny should be in a singles match.
Me
I
too.
heard they wanted Ospreay, but you can't do it because New Japan says no, we want that match. You got to work with your partners.
That's the one I've been hearing is Takeshita, and then I don't know where. I guess lo and behold, Jericho's going to get Ospreay, but
Legoat says injuries. That's another thing that.
Yeah, because if I was booking it, I know it's rumored to be Ospreay, Jericho, maybe, but I would have did Pac and Ospreay. Let those two just tear down the house.
It says Kenny doesn't have a match at all. At All In.
said
not yet. He will.
Yeah, I think he said he's mentioning it next week or this week.
Yeah, so tomorrow he is going to be talking about All In. So we'll see. Positively E says Eddie Kingston in the G1.
Didn't he get eliminated from the G1?
So is the G1 going on at the same time as All In?
They already finished.
No,
right?
G1's over.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Kevin Kelly will be back on Collision too.
Okay. Matthew Lopez says, I don't trust the idea MJF is turning. I think Cole, Kingdom, and Strong swerving everyone.
I've heard in a context that you might get the Pinnacle to reunite to combat that if the Kingdom is coming.
That was the worst faction in AEW history. I would not.
FTR, you had what was it? Wardlow.
I think
and
it had potential. Something went wrong. I know. Well, you just talked about Dax's podcast earlier.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder what really happened.
MJF. MJF was what is being talked about.
The beta 2024, baby.
Positively, he says Punk got to beat MJF. Steve Kelly chanting for CM Punk. I don't like this comment. Positively, E. Let's get the hell out of here with that.
Where's the star for that one?
See, and that's the reason why it's comments like that is the reason why he went to WWE to begin with, is because the AEW fans straight turned on him. So I don't want to hear anybody saying this motherfucker's a traitor.
Time out. It was his fault. Why it was partly his fault why people turned on him too.
Because he lost the World Heavyweight title.
No,
like opportunities.
Let's feud with QT Marshall and I Save Black America. Get out of here with this promo, bro.
Listen, has he done the smartest of things all the time? No.
Feuding with QT Marshall's not good for anybody. I'm over this dude. He's got to go. Like,
bro, that brings us back to the worthless people that are signed to AEW to begin with. QT Marshall, I don't want to hear Conan criticize AEW or WWE booking ever again. You had this boy go on and beat Penta for the title? Fuck out of here. I don't want to hear it.
Mexico loves him.
Mexico does not love QT Marshall. They were throwing beer bottles at this fool.
It's working. They're running the storyline about being a non-American.
That's go away heat, brother.
Yeah. So
go away heat, dude.
How is Pentagon and Phoenix not on this card yet too? Like,
I think they'll be there.
They got to do something with them.
I'm thinking Death Triangle versus House of Black.
Issues. No.
Packs out.
BCC.
Oh, that's right.
No, Andrade's group is feuding with House of Black.
I hope that we're not getting a BCC feud versus the Best Friends. I want to see Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy for the international title. And I want to see Jon Moxley be the guy that beats him. I hope it's not like a 8-man tag or something.
They have Wheeler Yuta fighting him, so that's what it looks like. It's going to come down to Moxley and Orange.
What do you think's gonna? Do you think it's gonna be that match?
Yeah, I want it to be Orange, but I feel like they're gonna go multi-person, and I hope they don't just try to slip in the Lucha Bros or something into that. Oh, this is gonna be a good one too, right here.
How do you feel about this? I heard a lot of people disappointed that Sting isn't doing a 1-on-1. I thought we were gonna get Sting versus Jericho at All In.
Sting has said he doesn't want to do a 1-on-1.
I've heard that.
So,
I've heard of that too.
Technically, he was supposed to come back and only do cinematic matches. Darby didn't talk him into his craziness. As you can see, he's jumping off and stuff.
Yeah,
dude,
I'm happy for missing the ladder.
I think Sting has had the best matches of his career in AEW. Some of the best.
One of my favorite matches from Lucha Underground is Swerve and AR Fox, Killshot and Dante Fox.
Yep.
I'm happy that AR Fox gets to be on this stage to do something. It's just like kind of like indie wrestling guys get to do it. And I think Swerve is a main event player waiting to break out. You just need to give
Swerve
him
is amazing, dude.
that makes him. Yeah,
What they
I think
just
he should
did-
be in the mix.
What they just did with Nick Wayne was gold. Absolute gold.
Yeah.
Won't recognize your face. Call the number. Darby, the
Dude.
worst person to ever call in a hostage situation. Shut the hell up, Swerve. Who are you talking to? Like, I got your boy right here
Yeah.
bleeding. Like,
Oh, jeez.
sorry, Nick. Oh,
So the Seattle nation knows all about Swerve, knows all about Darby. These are our talent. This is our home talent. Swerve is great, man, and he's always been great. He was the face of Defy Wrestling for a few years in a row, on and off, losing the title. But yeah, dude, Swerve, excellent wrestler to see live. Had the privilege of seeing him quite a bit of times on the indies, not only in Defy, but I've also seen him in Prestige. Very, very fun talent. AR Fox, I'm still learning about. I did watch him in Lucha Underground, and I've seen what he's done in AEW, but I have not followed him as much on the independents since he's been away from the mainstream.
he's trained probably a lot of people you like. Austin Theory. He's kind of like the background guy that no one thinks.
Did you just say I like Austin Theory?
No, I'm just saying people
Okay.
who like Austin Theory, Darby Allin, like he's had a hand in training them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Austin Theory's trash, bro. That's a
No,
Frodo
don't
thing.
Don't get a lot of fans upset about that. Of Rey Mysterio, 50 years old, winning the U.S. title. What a mess.
Hang on a second. Booyaka, booyaka. See that mask right there popping outside? Yeah, buddy. I'm a Rey Mysterio fan, dude. I don't care. I like Rey Mysterio. I don't think they're keeping it on him. I think how can you not like Rey Mysterio? The
Here
dude is
comes the
just
LA Knight
unlikable.
fans coming in to argue.
So, I don't have a flyer of the opening tag team match with Aussie Open and MJF and
double clothesline.
Yeah.
Or whatever their team name is.
MJF
better than you,
know.
baby. I think it was
Better than you, baby.
It's story time with MJF.
I ain't gonna lie, that remix is jive kind of hot that Ruckus did for them. You know, it's all about that boom.
Yep. It's tight, dude. It's tight. I love it. Let me see here. Let's check these comments real quick. Steve Kelly says, don't trust anybody. Tokyo Dominus says QT is get off my TV. Yeah, 100%. Why would anyone hate Cody? Exactly. There you go. Sting didn't want a one-on-one. Tokyo Dominus says, Lacey Evans contract up with WWE at midnight. Will TK pick up the phone? Probably not for her. Who was Fox in Lucha Underground?
Dante Fox.
Yeah, Dante Fox, yeah.
Lacey Evans is going to NWA, and I had to do not care.
Positively, he says, Ray is 50? Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer,
He's
bro.
old.
Tokyo Dominus, Austin Theory's not trash, just boring. Okay, yeah, you're right. I'll get behind that because he's not bad in the ring, but man, that character is just over like a wet fart. Positively, he says, Ray, he's no Christian. Get out of here. He's no Christian.
Sorry, Ray is 48. I'm apologizing.
I mean, hold on. Let's not gloss over this, Conrad. Are we really gonna sit here and say that he's not as good as Christian? Conrad, answer me this.
I mean, Christian did hold the light heavyweight championship longer than Ray held the cruiserweight championship. No, Rey Mysterio is clearly the better cruiserweight, but as a talent, I think you're severely underrating Christian, man. Christian's so good. He's so good.
He's done good on the mic.
No, he's good in the ring. Randy Orton's best matches are with Christian, I think.
I saw Christian and Orton in that what was that no holds barred world heavyweight title match at the SummerSlam. It was not bad.
Oh, that was one of like the 20 SummerSlams you guys got, right?
And plenty more to come.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Fuck LA, bro. Steve Kelly, All In is at 9 a.m.
Don't
Pacific.
worry. We'll sell it out.
Is All In 9 a.m. for us, James?
Yeah, it's 9 a.m. So
I think that's the pre-show.
You'll be up. Come on. You'll be up. Usually
I will be gone by then for sure. I won't be able to watch that live. I will get it. I'm gonna buy it, but I'm not going to watch that live. I'm gonna have to mute our
You watch
group
the
chat,
Saudi
mute all
shows with
social
me.
media.
You watch the Saudi show. You'll watch this.
I don't even want to hear it. Chris, you're gonna have to change your name, man. You're gonna get me like kicked off of YouTube with your names over here. Like he said, y'all boys on late today. You have to just change
Barry
that
M.
name. Yeah. Jesus. Steve Kelly, who do you have between Tyrus and EC3? Are we talking NWA?
And
I don't know, but Fox wins. That's all I know. Fox is like glorified with them.
you got to read that in your Bret Hart voice. Who are you to doubt El Dandy?
That's too much. Positively E says I'm not even gonna do it, man. I can't do it now. You fucked me up. Anyway, look, this match or this card is supposed to have CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. I don't think that that's the matchup we all wanted. I personally want to see Adam Hangman Page versus CM Punk again, or CM Punk versus Kenny Omega, but we're not gonna get that. It's obviously not
brawl
happening.
for all. Just do brawl for all, one time stakes.
Bro, this was a good booking. We saw who was the real tough man. And then I told that bald piece of shit to get out of my ring. No, I think Joe's the best match you could do if you can't get the match that we all obviously know that we want in some way, shape, or form. If you can't do that, Joe's the match. It tells a great story. Punk and Joe went from wrestling in those arenas in Ring of Honor, really small, first 5-star match by Uncle Dave in years for America. And then now 80,000 people get to see it. That's crazy. That's just something that I don't think either of them would have ever thought of either. Like, we're going to wrestle each other at a big show. Okay.
I think the fans will be pumped for it. I think they're going to be pumped for Joe. I think those fans are probably going to be more on Joe's side for this one, but I don't see Joe coming out on top on this in this match.
I don't know what they're gonna do, because I felt like they held back in that first match they had for the Owen Hart Cup. I felt the holding back where I'm like they're gonna do something else. There's no way.
Gotta go a little deeper.
Let's talk about this last match that I have up. And then once we do, we'll see what they could have done a little bit better, and then we'll kind of close out.
Oh no.
The Young Bucks versus FTR. This is the biggest match on the card. This is the match that a lot of people have wanted. I have fears for this, as do you guys, I'm sure. But I think, look, FTR has to win this. FTR has to win this, but I think that they're not going to.
I smell WWE 50-50 booking here. One of them's going to win one week. The one's going to win the following back.
I think you're right.
50-50. 50-50. I mean, they're not going to leave them out of Chicago. They're going to put them in there. I would be shocked if they just say, yeah, we're not going to do a match there. We're just going to do it on Dynamite or somewhere.
Conrad?
God, I hope they don't do it. We're both thinking. The contracts have been signed. The pain and agony right now that is in my voice and on my face, like, dude, I hope they don't do this, because I'm gonna say this: the Bucks don't deserve the titles right now. They just don't.
Listen, man,
FTR's been crushing it.
What is the best match that you've seen the Young Bucks in as of late, since they've been back? The best of 7. That was all they've done, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, you said since they've been back. I almost went to the last FTR match, but yeah, it's probably with the Death Triangle.
Death Triangle. It's the best of 7, and that wasn't even a tag match. So,
and I never want to see that again.
No, it's played out now. You've already done 7 matches. There's no more. The BCC we've ran out too. So I don't know.
Yep. They don't have a lot of places to go. They don't. Steve Kelly says, when do we get CM Punk and Samoa Joe part 1000? All in.
Positively E says, we going to see New Japan people on this pay-per-view or what? Where's Ibushi? I'm pretty sure he's going to be in a trios match with Kenny Omega. I'm almost positive.
Ask Eddie Kingston in his dream New Japan nostalgia love himself. He always gets some New Japan match thrown in there.
Maybe not Ibushi, but...
No, I think it's going to be Ibushi. I think Kingston might be the one who would get like a different like legend. I would love to see Kingston go up against like someone that he handpicked from either Noah or New Japan.
He also says Kenny has a sit-down interview or something on Dynamite. Yeah, so we're going to find out what's going on with Kenny Omega at All In tomorrow on Dynamite. Steve Kelly says, I want FTR, but fear Young Bucks cheat to win.
I don't think they'll cheat. Straight up beat them.
I think they're gonna beat them clean. Young Ducks got it in their contracts. Positively, he says, aren't the Bucks in a trios or something? Not according to BTE. We can't do the Hung Bucks anymore because we're going back in the tag division. They won't let us do the Hung Bucks.
Hey, speaking of contracts,
man,
I'm surprised we didn't mention. And I know this was the first start of it of MJF and Adam Cole, and no one read the contract. I forgot. No one's mentioned that since. He just signed the contract. No mentions, no reading of it. I don't know if it was. I've heard there was potential that it's just going to be classified as a non-title binding match.
Wow, signs a match contract, and it's not for the title. That actually be pretty creative.
I've heard of that.
Adam Cole beats MJF clean. And doesn't get the title.
You'd have to do the rematch at All Out.
Yep. So there goes CM Punk's match. But
you can't end the show on that though. Could you imagine how pissed people would be?
Oh man.
Comes
people
out of
celebrating Adam Cole winning the title.
Mark Sterling comes out like, yeah, you didn't read it.
No. Read the fine print, dude. ECW still got roid belly, allegedly. What's going on with that?
Any reason why Rob's not? I don't know why they did the match on Dynamite. I'm not sure why they want to put Rob on All In, unless there was. I don't know when his contract expired with AEW.
I think too many people were crying about if RVD got a spot. How come Dark Order? You know how it goes.
I mean, he already retweeted the option of fans are already pissed off.
Steve,
on AEW television.
Steve says, I won't watch All In because I can't afford it. I got you, bud. I'll send you a link.
Watch wrestling.in.
All right. And now everybody knows, and that site will be shut down. Okay. So,
there's more.
Shout out to Callie.
Yeah. Fucking Callie ruins it for everybody again. Yeah, we were supposed to. So Ryback wants Goldberg. We were supposed to hear some rumblings about Goldberg. Whatever happened with that? Do you think we see Goldberg show up at All In? Do you think he makes an appearance?
Maybe his kids for a short run.
No, he'll be at his kids. Oh wait, that's August. I was thinking his son is going to be at football.
Do you do a debut? Do you need one debut? Maybe. That's kind of their thing. Like, let's debut.
Yeah, but they kind of need surprises too, right? I feel like there's going to be a lot of surprises for this show. It's All In.
Goldberg, Spear, QT Marshall. There you go.
Jeff Jarrett, you got him always in the bag.
He's supposed to fight at the card, from what I heard. Who was it?
I think he's going to wrestle. I think they wrestle Grado.
That was.
And I wonder if TK is going to shell out the Madonna money one time.
If anybody, if you do it for anybody, it's got to be for the JARRE double T.
It's my world.
Howdy, folks.
we haven't even came upon your tournament on this card.
So I don't think it's on the card. Is it on the card?
It's on the
card. It's about to be.
So there's going to be a tournament on the card?
No. Britt Baker, it's just qualifiers.
Okay, for the winner of the tournament
four-way.
Then gets
a fatal four-way match will happen.
We haven't gotten any word on the Acclaimed being on this show either. So House of Black, another one.
Andrade,
Andrade, Miro.
That's the context.
Collision, folks.
Miro already. Miro is fighting it All Out from what they teased at Collision.
Oh yeah, Hobbs. Yeah,
Hobbs.
I can see Jack Perry and Hook being saved too for All Out.
So wait a minute. Are we gonna run a lot of the Collision guys on All Out and then run a lot of the Dynamite guys on All In? Is that what's gonna happen here?
Now you're starting to see why I think CM Punk was mad.
Wow.
Catch my drift now? No,
yeah.
He's just mad. He's just an angry guy.
Unbelievable. What do you think they could have done to make this card better? Like, without booking CM Punk against the Elite because they're a bunch of crybaby ass bitches, what could we have done?
Book Payback differently. No, let me stop. Shout out to them for doing it the day before All Out. I love that we're getting another pay-per-view.
Listen, though, we don't really have the biggest of matches. This isn't the biggest card. Do we do a over the budget battle royal?
I think you could on the pre-show. Okay. I say why not? Just add a bunch of guys
on the buy-in.
But I think you got to make it for something. I don't know, international championship match maybe in the future. Something you got to put something on the line there.
$300,000 trios tag team battle royal.
Do we see Christian or Luchasaurus defending? Whoever the fuck is holding this title, are they defending it on All In?
All Out. They already have their match.
Okay.
Who else? Ring of Honor. I mean, we have one set of Ring of Honor titles on the show.
Yeah, Claudio. I don't know if they've tried to squeeze Claudio and Yuta in somewhere. Maybe. I'm with Jesse though. I think they should go Orange and Moxley.
Double J versus Christian for that TNT title. Yeah, that title is ridiculous, man. I love that title too. The way it looks very nice. It's probably one of my favorite. Actually, the international title looks the best to me out of all their titles. I think the international title looks really cool. But that TNT title is beautiful, man. And the fact that they got it on Christian's shoulder.
I wish there was more distinction with the international and the women's title. I feel like they look too similar, like with the little designs, like the circles in the corner. I wish they do.
But that women's title is a little bit fire.
Yeah, that was the best one. I remember when they started with the little ones. I'm like,
yep. I even liked the little one. I thought it was different. I liked it. But
who's doing commentary for both pay-per-views? Is this the typical Shivani and Excalibur?
At this point, CM Punk doing commentary.
Old sock face.
I'm assuming JR is going to be on probably main event call.
The main event. Yeah.
There's been a dark cloud since Punk's been here.
We'll see, man. Look, I think we should have booked, like, I know Sting doesn't want to do a singles match, but I feel like we should have gotten Sting versus Jericho. I would have liked to see that just one time, Sting versus Jericho singles match, All In, and probably call it a career.
That might have been
Nigel
rough.
McGuinness. I've heard that.
It would have kind of been like seeing him with Taker. You know what you're going to get out of the match, but it's just cool to see the two legends standing in the ring and, doing something that hasn't been done. What are we going to do with Jericho other than that? Like, who's Jericho facing at the pay-per-view?
If he goes up against Will, I think Will Ospreay can give him a pretty decent match. I think Will can do a lot of the heavy lifting for him.
The story's there. I mean, Will did work with Don Callis since he did not like Kenny.
Yeah.
I think I could see him even Don Callis snaking his way to getting like Aussie Open under his wing, managing them for Will. And what's their group called? The United Empire, kind of being connected in both companies, even though he's in Japan, they're over here. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, man. Look, I think we dropped the ball with the whole CM Punk and Elite thing. That's, the big match that should have happened. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been opposed to CM Punk versus MJF at All In. Title for title. See who the real world champion is. Have MJF get the dub. I would have been cool with it.
I still think that could be the Chicago match. I think they don't know if they want to do it yet, but I think it could be the all-out match.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't run in the same situation with Moxley winning the title and then Punk winning the title after that. Or that's what I sense they're going to do that with FTR and the Bucks.
We'll see, man.
Did you see Rocky 3? You wish you threw it that way.
I don't want to crap on this pay-per-view too much. I do think that the booking should have been done better. And here's why. I think Tony should have manned up. You know what I mean? When it came down to it, he was just signing these guys new deals. I understand you don't want them to jump ship, but they are not valuable in WWE. The only person that's valuable in WWE is Kenny Omega. The Young Bucks, they still probably would have paid some good money to get them, but they wouldn't have lasted. Look what they just did to the Usos. Like that's where tag teams go to die, realistically. You don't go to WWE and stay a tag team unless you're the New Day.
I did it for you, brother.
Yeah, it's just, I think that TK could have put his foot down with this whole CM Punk and Elite thing. We could have I think that the Elite should have wanted to do this, not just like, hey, TK should have made him. I think the Elite should have been like, yo, this will sell this pay-per-view, period. And I think that at the same time, with them saying that, it would have shown the fans that these guys have worked shit out. They're here to do business. The fans would have come together a little more. Do you think so?
I think that's what's needed for the fan base in and of itself. Like, I think we just need closure on it. Like, how can you make CM Punk fans like the Bucks and Paige? Like, I don't feel it's as much towards Kenny. And how can you make Punk? And I even see FTR slander more now too. Like, how can you make those fans like them again? Because
not learning
when the Bucks
from Brett and Sean, I mean,
there's a lot of drama within that company.
Yeah. And it's wrestling fans in general.
And drama always exists. I'm tired of hearing WWE doesn't have these problems. BS. They have these problems. It's just maybe more under control. Maybe it's not talked about as much, but they have these issues. Charlotte, Becky,
you just had Sheamus throw shade, right? We just talked about it, about Sheamus throwing shade in there about Roman Reigns and the whole bloodline thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Jesse mentioned before, Triple H not being in the corporate structure and Triple H fans acting like it's doom and gloom. Did you guys read what the corporate structure said for them? Chill. They are only allowed to have 2 members of WWE management. Who do you think they're going to pick? It's obviously going to be Vince and Nick Khan. So, sorry. Yeah. And then they have to get some neutral parties, too, so that they're all trusting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing that I wanted to talk about too. The Triple H getting kicked off the board is not really as serious as people think. I still think Triple H is still pretty much calling the shots when it comes to what's going on TV. Yeah. I mean,
Vince has a lot on his plate already. I mean, getting evicted.
It seems like they have stopped the call-ins a lot, though. But once again, this is hearsay. This is from fucking Dave Meltzer. So Dave Meltzer is always reporting stuff like this. Who knows if it's true or not? He's been exposed from a lot of his reports. So I just wouldn't read what any dirt sheet says with as fact, because you really just don't know. Do I think that Vince has a hand in it? Absolutely. Especially when it comes to the pay-per-view structure. It's got to, right? Like he's in there. He's trying to make this business deal with Endeavor. And we'll see how it goes once that deal goes through and it's done. We'll see where WWE lies then. You see what the future of WWE is now. You see it on WrestleMania, Captain Crunch or whatever it is, Cinnamon Toast Crunch and
Cinnamon Toast Crunch and beat your kid with a shoe match and stuff. What is this?
Just some random ass sponsored matches. Like it's monetization at its finest.
Slim Jim.
Just go ahead and say that. When you're a business, you monetize. That's what you do. And I don't blame WWE for doing this. It just makes your product look less than when you have Cinnamon Toast Crunch all over your fucking ring apron and your banners in the back, and it just looks, and you have a mascot out there dancing on the side of the ring while all this shit's happening.
You had Prime Bottle dancing. I mean,
yeah. So that I got because of Logan Paul. Logan Paul's a freaking star, man. Like that dude really fits in with that WWE structure. So does Bad Bunny, man. I threw a couple shorts out for those guys. Go and check that out. But yeah, man, I enjoy what Logan Paul's doing. I thought that was like one of the better matches too on SummerSlam was Logan Paul and Ricochet. It was fun to watch. Just like on that Backlash, I thought that the Bad Buddy match with Damian Priest was match of the night by far. So it's, but that's where WWE's going, man. Monetization. Monetize everything. You've seen the WrestleMania prices. You see where they're going. Everything is about money with this company. I'm just glad that we have AEW that doesn't follow suit. I do believe that All In could have been booked better, but here's the thing. I think that Tony Khan also has a lot of surprises for us in store that we have no idea about. I think All In's going to shock you. They have to do something big. It can't just be the matches that we have on the card, right? Like, this isn't your normal pay-per-view. You literally have to go all in for this.
Yeah, you got to tell people why they should fork over $50 next week, too.
Yep.
Then show up with 2 tunnels at the arena.
I will say this, the booking when it comes to it, bro, you're gonna have me shutting this fucking podcast off right now. That's the thing too, man. This has to have a big stadium feel look. You cannot have your tunnels or your little ass entrance.
All right, we'll give you a curve entrance, long entrance ramp with a curve. We'll give you that.
What's Joshua Fatu doing in the impact zone? Let's go.
What's Percy Pringle doing?
Could you imagine if WWE okayed Jey Uso to go over there under the Jey Uso name? Like, I don't know.
No,
I could never.
I've heard ramblings. Oh, wait until he shows up the Impact to come Fred.
That would be our first forbidden door between the two companies.
I don't trust them.
You never trust WWE though. You just can't.
Never.
Sabotage. They're gonna want something in return on that.
How about we'll
give you Jey Uso, but I'm gonna tell you what, we're gonna need Kenny Omega for WrestleMania, dude.
And for WWE 2K24 pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
With theme rights.
So, closing statements about how you're feeling about All In so far, Conrad. What do you think about this pay-per-view? What do you think about All Out too?
I wish that the card was better for All In, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. I still think this has the potential to be a good show. And as far as All Out goes, I think they're going to have to kind of be the underdog show where it's like, okay, well, I didn't get on the All In. I didn't get on the 80,000 seat show. So I'm about to show my ass out here in Chicago and make people know who I am and why we're here and why we do what we do.
100%. You got to bring new eyes. You have to use this platform to bring new eyes to your company. That's that. And, I wouldn't oversaturate it with New Japan. I would oversaturate it with your own roster. I'm not saying not to bring any New Japan guys because there's a lot of people that know a Will Ospreay. There's a lot of people that know Ibushi and others. I think that you should bring some of those, but for the most part, man, you gotta have your roster show out for this one. You gotta give them a reason to buy a ticket next year. Let's just put it that way. Facts. James?
Yeah, I would put it this way. This is going to be your glorified house show. We've seen it from WWE standpoint when they've done, the Super Show from Australia. Obviously, the Saudi shows are a little different, but they still try to get as much, superstars you don't see, from the country. So you're going to get your Will Ospreay, you're going to get New Japan stars. And then, there's going to be, you want to show how much worth do you think you are, show what you can to prove yourself you can get on the All In card for next year, wherever that must be. But yes, guaranteed. You need to give me reasons on this tomorrow show of why I should purchase All In. Most definitely.
Positive Lee says Eddie Kingston versus Great O'Khan. He also says Logan Paul and Bad Bunny are dope, more charisma than most wrestlers. Want a little old school WrestleMania. Then Ian Riccaboni on a camel like WrestleMania 9. Get out of here, man. This ain't Bobby the Brain Heenan. You got to put him out in there backwards, though, and have the toga coming up his ass, you know what I mean? Where he had wearing that little thong style attire. That's too much. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it for me. What do you guys think?
I'm tapped, man. I'm ready just to see. I want to see what they put on, man. Give me the rest of this card and let's see what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Guys, follow us on social. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I said it's going to be a spectacle seeing 80,000 or whatever. And let's see if they overwrite the number like the last time from the last.
I'm stoked for AEW to have a spectacle. That's what I'm saying. You can't have like this just looking like a small entrance and everything. I want them to literally go all in for this. So we'll have to see what happens.
WrestleMania crowd. You got pyro going outrageous.
Their pyro is so quiet though. The pew 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 pew.
I appreciate that. I hate when it's loud. Like I'm the dude who always covers his ears. Everybody's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I know what's about to happen. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Kane's pyro.
Not used to concerts or anything like that.
I am, but my ears, I'm just like, oh, these things are probably taking so much damage, and I'm like, cover your ears.
Are you one of those guys that wears earplugs on the 4th of July?
No. Okay. I used to be the guy who got mad though when I'm trying to sleep because I had to wake up at 2 a.m.
Bro, it's a war zone over in my neighborhood for 4th of July.
Sounded like Vietnam.
Yeah, it's crazy. Everybody follow us on all social media at The Pro Wrestling Shoot. If you're listening to this, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, make sure to leave a 5-star rate and give us a friendly review, man. It helps us in that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Go and check out our short form content. We got a lot of it out there. We're going to be pumping some video game content this week. Stay tuned for that. I'm Jesse Carter. He's James Pinard Jr. and our guest, Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. Make sure to check them out right after Dynamite tomorrow night over at EPW Show over right here on YouTube. You can check them out on Twitter and Twitch. You still stream over there, right?
Yep.
All 3 platforms. Wherever you're at, go check them out. Go give them a subscribe at EPW Show everywhere. Go and follow them. Take it easy. We'll see you next week. Pro Wrestling